Good morning, you guys. Happy weekend. So today I'm going to give you an update on all the plants I got from Aroid Market. If you missed it, probably going on 5 months ago, I received a package from Aroid Market. It had seven plants, and I shared that experience with you. A lot of the plants came in, pretty good looking. I had a few that were a little bit more on the sad side, some rot issues, and I shared that entire process with you. And then I made a follow-up video to that a couple months later, and we took care of the plants, potted them up, and everything. And so now that we're a couple more months out, I figured I would do another update after they've had a little chance to settle in and start growing, because I have some fun surprises with a couple of them. And yeah, I'm excited to share those updates with you. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the plant shelf behind me. I have a couple of the plants here, and then the rest of them are kind of scattered throughout, so I'll take you to some other areas throughout the course of the video. But it should be fun. It shouldn't be crazy long or anything. I just wanted to make a dedicated video to share the updates in case you were curious. So let's go ahead and get started, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so up first is Antherum Green Mamba crossed with Silver Blush. So when I initially unboxed this, you guys, this specimen was so large. I was so impressed with the overall size, and every leaf was like pretty happy and pristine, and it was just a gorgeous specimen. And so what I ended up doing a couple months or maybe a week later, I'm not exactly sure, but I ended up separating it and propagating it because there was like a part of the chunk that I decided to cut away. So that piece I actually just tossed the other day because the leaf was yellowing, the main leaf, and the stump looked a little bit rotty. I'm not really sure if there was like anything viable. I had this little piece that's doing well, so I figured I would just keep this one. And so a lot of those original leaves did unfortunately yellow off. I have this leaf here, which is an original leaf, and this leaf here, which is an original leaf. And so this was the first leaf that it gave me right here after it kind of got potted up and settled in and focused on growing roots. And then this here is the newest leaf right here in the middle. I feel like it's still a little bit soft, so it hasn't fully hardened yet. It does have quite a bit of silver, you can see. I wonder if the silver blush, if it's going to be more silver as it matures. I'm not really sure, but I feel like the newest leaf has more silver than some of the original leaves down here. But it's really pretty, and let me check out the root system. So I have it potted into a 4-inch, and then a lot of these roots here that you're seeing are healthy new roots that have grown in. A lot of the original roots that were on this plant initially, a lot of those did shed and rot off, so it pretty much had to grow in an entire new root system. Very healthy roots and everything. It's potted into my Aroid mix. It's done very well. I have a feeling that this guy is going to grow pretty quickly because I feel like these two leaves came out, I feel like pretty close together. I would say within the past maybe 5-6 weeks. So overall, I feel like it's done very well. I kept it in high humidity for a while as it acclimated and everything, but it's been growing in room conditions in my ambient environment on the shelf behind me here for, I would say, for probably a couple months now, so it's done and adjusted well. So that is that little cutie. All right, next up is Antherum HU, or King of Spades. This is the one that I was most excited for out of all the plants in the import. I think it is literally one of the most beautiful anthuriums out there. It is just gorgeous. I cannot wait to breed with it in the future. So when I unboxed it, again, it was a pretty large specimen. I did at that time make a decision to propagate it as well. And so this is like the bigger main chunk, and it's doing well. And I'm going to show you when we get to it over in the other room, the other chunk piece, because it's putting out a new leaf and it is beautiful. And so this one here is actually getting ready to push a leaf. I do wish it was unfurling right now so you could see how beautiful these emergent leaves are. But these two leaves here are the original two leaves, so they're the imported leaves. They've hung on well. There's a little bit of yellowing, and this one's a little bit more, I guess, misshapen. And then once I get some new pretty leaves, I may eventually like clip some of these older ones away. But I am telling you, I'm going to be watching this new leaf like a hawk. Out of both anthuriums, I would say this one held on to a lot of the original roots, which is kind of interesting how this one didn't shed many of those and the other one did shed a lot of them. But you can see a lot of the new healthy roots that have grown in. Same situation, it's in my Aroid mix, and this is a 5-inch clear pot. So I did go up in pot size to a 5-inch right away just because it did have a significant root system. Like I felt like it needed a 5-inch since a lot of those roots stayed on with the plant. But yeah, overall it imported very well. I haven't noticed any more pests or anything that came with my import order. There was a little bit of scale, just a few on a couple of the leaves, but I had them quarantined for so long, and I did a pest treatment like 4 times in a row. So I wanted to make sure that nothing at all was going to come back on these plants. But yeah, the veining on King of Spades is so beautiful. I can't wait to show you the emergent leaf in the other room. Yes, I love this one so much. So happy to have this in my collection. Before I show you the other part of the King of Spades, I want to show you the 2 Hoya plants that I got with the order, because you guys, both of these Hoyas have just blown me away. One of them is blooming. I'll show you that one after this one. But this one here, out of all the plants, this was probably one that I thought I was going to lose, like I thought it was going to die. But it has put out 2 of the most stunning leaves. I need to take a picture of this plant, you guys, because these leaves are legit purple. They are so beautiful. So this is Hoya Mitra Silver, M-I-T-R-A, I think is what it is. And so when I unboxed this plant, it didn't have a stem. So basically it was these 3 original leaves. This one, and this one. And it was just like the stem was missing and it didn't have any roots. Or did I cut them away? I don't remember now, but it basically had nothing. And so you guys, there were many times when I was rehabbing this Hoya that I thought it was going to croak on me. I really did. So I had it in stratum for a while, but because it didn't really have a stem, I couldn't really get it to sit in the container very well. So I had to kind of fix that. And so I had it under high humidity. And then I think I left it in stratum for 2.5 months or so. It was a while. And then once I took it out of stratum and I potted it up, I think it had just a tiny root, not a lot. And so I was really worried still because these original leaves still didn't look the healthiest. But you guys, when I tell you these leaves have firmed up and this plant has rooted, look at that. Look at those roots in there. Again, it's in my Aroid mix. This is a 3-inch. And then recently, within the past month, it's put out these gorgeous, gorgeous leaves. Look how pretty those are. It is so stunning. And look at the back too. Look at that color on that. It is like a purple. I don't know what's causing the sun stressing. If it's just under 2 Barina lights, the 10 watt. So there's 2 on my top shelf in here, and that's where it's sitting. So I don't know if it's the grow lights or they're just coming in with that gorgeous coloring, but it's like a purple shimmery metallic. And then there's actually a new set of leaves. I don't know if it's gonna pick up right down in there. This Hoya is so stunning, you guys. It feels really nice too. It's like a different texture. It's like not rubbery, but it's like not felt tippy, but it's really weird. Maybe a combination of those two, if I can describe it. But I'm just so happy it didn't die on me. It is so beautiful. Stunning, stunning Hoya. She is beautiful. So I'm very excited to see future leaves on her. Stunning, stunning, no words. Beside my rudstick cabinet is my white acrobar cabinet, and so this one has been living in there for the past couple of months whenever I potted them up and acclimated them out of higher humidity. And I was going around watering last week, and this Hoya here, I was like, I'm probably just gonna sell this one and list it because I have a lot of Hoya leaves that are green and splashy. So this one I'm just like, yeah, I don't know if I really want to keep it. And so I went to water these the other day, or like I said last week, and there was a freaking bloom on it. I had no idea this thing even had peduncles. And the blooms are still in bloom, and it's been over a week. They're still open. And you guys, they're like little tulips. They're so cute. So this Hoya has an interesting name. It's Hoya Garut, and it has some numbers, but I'll put it on the screen for you. And I want to show you the bloom because it's so pretty and dainty. Look at that. They are adorable, and if you look on the back side, I think I like the back side more. They're like little, they look like they're in the shape of a tulip. Oh, that is so stunning. And I was trying to smell them, like the scent. They are floral, but it's very light, it's mild. The other day I thought it smelled like a lime. Maybe not quite a lime, but it's very faint, not a bad smell. And because it bloomed and the blooms are so cute and it's not overpowering, I'm like, I have to keep this Hoya. It'll be one that I'll prop in the future. So when I unboxed it, these are the original leaves here. And then I ended up propagating it into 2 sections. So I have this section here in the back that's growing. And then this is where a new node has shot out. So this entire section here, starting like right here, is new growth. So this entire thing is new, and so it spit out a bloom, and there's actually 2 more peduncles. There's one right there, and then there's one up here on that one, you can see. And this vine over here, I don't think has grown any peduncles yet. It got a little crinkled because it was squished in my Acrobite, and I didn't realize there was a growth coming out on the back side. But I'm gonna have to add a little trellis to it, and yeah, it's so cool. The blooms are so cool. It's like a lime green too, the color on it. So stinking cool. And it's rooted pretty well in there. 3-inch pot. I guess before I let anything go, I'm gonna double check and make sure I know what the blooms look like, because I don't know, sometimes pictures don't really do it justice until you actually get it in person and can see it and can smell what they actually smell like. But yeah, this one I would say imported it very well. All the original leaves are still on it, and it didn't shock, and it's freaking blooming. So yeah, definitely happy that this one has done well, and I have it in my collection. Next up, I am here in my shop room, and so I put the bottom chunk of the King of Spades Anthurium in here because in my head I was like, I don't need 2 of them, I'll probably sell one. But since it put out a new leaf, you guys, I am keeping this. I'm not getting rid of it. I'll just keep 2 King of Spades in my collection, because what if one like doesn't make it? Then I'll be sad that something happened to it. But I just cut the original leaf off, so that's the stump here, and so the original leaf was yellowing quite a bit. So I cut it off right before that piece, so I think a new leaf should emerge out of here. And so it pushed this new leaf, so that's why I cut the original leaf off. And look how stunning. Look how freaking beautiful. I don't think this room is doing this plant justice. I'll have to snap a photo and maybe put a photo on the screen. But it's got red veining. It is stunning, that burnt tea red orange color. It's coming across more orange with the light in here, but it's very dark, very beautiful. It might even have a little blip of blister variegation right there, a tiny bit of shimmer. I'm trying not to touch it, but it is so cute and round and beautiful. So it's rooting nicely in here. Again, it's potted into my Aroid mix. You can see all those roots in there. So yes, I will be keeping him, unfortunately. If I change my mind in the future, like once the other leaf emerges on the other one, if I decide not to keep this one, or I could prop them again in the future. Since this one I did prop and the prop did well, I could probably cut this. Once the new leaf comes out of this section, I'll probably clip this one away, and then I'll have 2 from this. Because I think initially when I had cut the King of Spades, I was like, I could cut it in 3, but I decided not to. So I can separate this one in the future and still sell a listing of it in the future, but for now I'm going to keep it. Okay, next up is a Singonium, and this is one that I was, again, just going to get rid of once it acclimated and started growing, and I could sell it as like a healthy plant. But now that it's growing, I'm kind of like, I kind of want to keep it, and then I'll just sell cuttings in the future, because I like how some of the leaves are coming in. I don't know. I haven't fully decided, but I might just take cuttings in the future. But it's done well, and it's a cute little plant now that's growing and healthy. I had just watered a lot of these plants yesterday, so they're kind of drippy wet still. I don't love Singonium as much anymore, but sometimes it's hard to let go of plants just because I'm a plant hoarder and I love plants. It's hard to depart. It's hard to part ways with some plants, not depart. So this one here is an original leaf. This one at the bottom here, this one. And so you can kind of see some of that white variegation on the white butterfly. Isn't it pretty? And then this one here is an original leaf. And then I think the rest of them, no, this is original leaf too. I think there was a couple that yellowed. And then the rest of them are new. So this one isn't too, it's okay, I guess. It doesn't have like too much variegation. And this one was kind of all green, this one here. But this one here that came out is my favorite. I think this one is so cute. Look at the colors on that. I don't know if the light is really doing this plant justice. It's kind of backlit a little bit, but I don't know. It's so cute now. Yeah, and this one's rooting nicely. Again, this one is in my Aroid mix as well. So I don't know. I'm undecided still, but I think I'm going to keep it. I don't feel like many people have white butterfly variegated. I know white butterfly is a very common Singonium, but the variegated one is, you know, more rare. And yeah, it's cute. So I think I might hold on to it and profit. Okay, a couple plants left. We have a Monstera that's in my plant room, and then we have a Filidendrin, which I'm going to show you here. So this Filidendrin I actually propagated into 3 pieces. And so when I unboxed it, I think it was kind of crazy. And so I ended up taking 3 sections. One of the sections did rot, one of the propagations, so I was down to 2. I have one right here, and the other one is in my plant room. So this one right here, I was going to let go and sell once it grew more. And then out of the one in my plant room, once it started growing more, I can use that one to cut back for the shop. So this one here, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to keep, but it depends on the variegation that comes in. If this one grows in with better color than the one that I decided to keep, I'll keep this one and then sell that one. But this is a Filidendrin, you know, the burl marks variegated with the white and creamy color. But this one is the mint. So the minty variegation looks like that. And I have the regular burl marks variegated in my plant room. I can show you the difference when we go in there. These are all the original leaves here. So I think a couple were more on the all green side. There was one that was kind of variegated. So these 3 leaves have held on, and so this is all the new growth here. And so the new growth is coming in with some beautiful splotchy coloring and everything. So it's rooting up nicely and everything, lots of healthy roots. So I'm gonna let this one grow more, like I said, and then eventually I'm gonna list this one in the shop. But yeah, I really like the mottled. It kind of reminds me of Singonium Mojito. I used to have that one. That's what it kind of reminds me of. I smell that awful smell again. I just cut another Alicasia bloom off. I think it's my Alicasia Polly. So the other day, we kept smelling this really stinky smell, and it was coming from down this way. And I'm like, it has to be one of my Alocasias that are blooming. That's smelling so awful. My husband said it smelled like Brussels sprouts, and it was awful, you guys. It reeked the entire house, like horrible, smelled disgusting. And so I came in here and I clipped every single Alicasia bloom off, and then eventually the smell dissipated. And then I started smelling it again this morning, and I think my Polly had a new bloom coming in, so I just snipped it off. But it stinks. It reeks so freaking much. Okay, so you guys, my plant room, I cannot wait to redo my plant room. I have so many big plants everywhere. So the original leaves on this one were more pretty, so that's why I decided to keep this one. It gave me one leaf that was mottled, but this one is green, and it looks like this newest one is all green. But we'll see. Once they kind of grow more, I'll decide from there. But yeah, I would say they're rooting and doing about the same. And there's another growth point on the back down in there. And then I have the burl marks, the variegated. Bless you. Luna sneezed. Right here, so you can see the difference in the variegation. I still like this one, the original, like yellow and white variegation. They just revert very easily, or they're very prone to reversion. The mottled is still nice, but yeah, that's the difference though. Okay, last but not least is the Monstera Elbow. This elbow, you guys, when I unboxed it, it had so many beautiful leaves, but the root system was completely rotted, and I was rehabbing it. All the leaves kept falling off, like they would just fall off. And so I was left with 2 leaves, this one here and this one here, and that was it. And so I decided, because I have all my, well, not all, but a lot of my other Monstera in pon, and they're really happy, I wanted to go ahead and put this one in pon. When I put it in here, I had it in too big of a pot at first, and then I downsized it to this one, but it didn't have a lot of roots, so I was a little worried. But it did finally push out its first leaf. So this Monstera Elbow is called White Tiger, I believe. It's supposed to be different than the regular Monstera Elbow, but I can't really tell the difference yet. To me, it just looks like regular Monstera Elbow. But that was the first leaf. Of course, it's a beautiful half moon, which I love. It is working on a new one right here. And then I actually noticed the other day that there is another growth point coming right here. So I guess when I had chopped it, the stem away, another node decided to activate. So I don't know if that's going to grow, because sometimes they come out and then they don't do anything. So there might be another growth there. So I'll have to see what the future leaves look like. I'm trying to compare it to my regular Monstera Elbow, but to me it just looks about the same. But the first leaf is beautiful. Because I have Monstera Elbows that have like more minty coloring and everything, so I don't know. But it's doing very well now that it's situated. Oh yeah, and it has rooted nicely in pon. So I'll probably leave it in this vessel for a bit, and then I'll upsize it at some point. So very happy that it didn't wither away on me. Look at the new leaf on my flame. It's staring at me. Look at her. She's beautiful, right? I'm going to be filming a plant update next week, or I might film it later this week, but we'll see. I think I will try and get it filmed later this week. Also, look at the leaf on this pink princess. Look how gorgeous. Look. She's in caterpillar now. Beautiful, right? Stunning. I just love all these plants so much. And look at this leaf on my variegated nobilis. Look at her. This is one finicky Alicasia. So yes, enough updates. I'll share more in that video and go around to my entire collection, but I have a lot of rearranging to do. My next big task for sure is my moss poles. I haven't had a chance to work on them because I did the outside, and then I've been doing a lot of shop stuff the last several days. So I think I will film my plant update, and then I'm going to get to work on my moss poles, because I was going to slowly do it and transition them all off, but I think I might just go to town and just take them all off. Minus my Adansonii. For right now, I might leave that one on just because it's so big and I don't know how to handle that. But yeah, the rest of them, yeah, we're getting the shears out. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this little update and I could share that with you. And I'm excited for all the growth that I'm going to get this spring and summer. And I'm excited to do a lot more propagating because the plants in here have gotten big and out of hand, and I'm ready to do some chopping. But again, thank you so much for watching and for being here, and I will talk to you soon.